Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining me for this weekly thought of Dhamma. Today we'll be covering verses 3 and 4 of the Dhammapada. So let's get into those verses. He abused me, he struck me, he overpowered me, he robbed me. Those who harbor such thoughts do not still their hatred. He abused me, he struck me, he overpowered me, he robbed me. Those who do not harbor such thoughts still their hatred. It's often that we are taught that when someone harms us or does something against us, we have to meet that hostility with further hostility. We have to justify our anger and our hatred towards somebody who has done something against us. So we just continue to add more and more aggression and anger and violence to their aggression, anger, and violence. But as Buddhists or people who are trying to understand the Buddha Dhamma and want to incorporate Buddha Dhamma into their daily lives, you have to look at things with a bigger picture. You have to look deeper. And to get to our goal of mental purification, to everlasting happiness, to Nibbana, you have to learn to let go of things and develop more skilled ways of handling things. So as I mentioned, we're usually taught that meet hatred, with violence with violence. But we have more options. We don't have to follow along with what people told us to do or how to act in this way. If we want to find happiness, if we want to find peace, if we want to purify our minds, we have to give up something that's useless, that only does more harm to us and society at large. So we have to abandon to gain something greater. And what we have to abandon in these verses is our justifications for anger, our justifications for hatred, our justifications for violence. We take control of our mind. We take control of the scenario that we are presented with. Instead of just going along with what's expected, we have to say, no, I want to write my own story. I want to think in the way that I want to think. There's no rule saying that we have to be angry, that we have to be hateful, that we have to be violent. We can choose a higher path, a much better path, a skillful path. We can let go of the stories that we think about. We don't have to, we don't have to say this person abused me, robbed me, overpowered me. We can say, these people might not be that great, they've done something that's harmful, but I don't have to hate them. I don't have to have violence against them. I can develop compassion, forgiveness. It doesn't mean that people should let themselves be treated like a doormat, but they can still find a skillful way to be able to let go, get away from these people that are doing harmful things. I'm not exactly sure how we go about that. That's part of the journey. But once we're able to realize and know that we have more options in this world, instead of just going along with what everyone else is doing, we'll find much more lasting happiness and peace. So for this week, I think we all should be thinking of ways that we can learn to let go of our hatred and see how there's a much bigger palette out there in the world, that our thoughts are limitless and we have more options than we originally thought we did. So I encourage you all to reflect on these verses, and I wish you all to have a wonderful, wonderful week, and I'll see you next time.